So here's what happened. It was it was one of the first memories I have as a person. So and what's weird is I didn't remember any of this until I was about 6 or 7. So keep in mind of that. I oh, it's much better. All right, so it's kind of nervous talking about because kind of put myself out there on the map a little bit, dealing with a lot of personal problems lately. So, but I'm a beast, so I'm gonna get through it. Um, I'm just gonna jump right into it. So I was. Why does it sound like my voice is muffled? Maybe it's just the microphone that I'm using. Anyways, so I've told a lot of people this, and every time I tell somebody, they give me this look afterwards, like, whatever, you're crazy. But I was gonna break it down. So it was like, um, when I get taken, it's only happened, as far as I can remember, it's only happened one time. It was nothing crazy. I I just remember some quick second flashes, and I remember being on the ship, standing up. Let's see, as far as I can remember, my whole life, I always thought that I was on a rooftop. And that's why I explained to people like, well, I was on some sort of rooftop because when you're on a square building or like what I mean, all I could see was the black outline borders of the place, and like it looked like a little glow underneath, which what I thought was city lights coming up for the side of the building. But really, after like revisiting it, because I think about it every night before I go to bed. Every night I think about it. It's haunted me. It's made me think that I couldn't. For the longest time, I had the fear. So I wake up and I'm standing in front of three. There's like right in front of me. There's two. Then there's one in the middle, and then I'd probably say I'm 5 feet away from three of them, and I'm young, so I'm probably only like 3 4 foot high, anyways. And so when I'm standing in front of them, I I remember they all three kind of walk up to me, but the center one kind of walks a little more further. And here's the thing: I don't know if there's anything behind me, so keep that in mind. And I'm standing there, and he little guy hands it to me like this, like, and in his hand is a freaking pebble. It looked like a rock. It looked like something you would almost be good at. Let's see if I can find something similar, like to the. It's like a. All right, so I've googled it and googled it and googled it, and I asked AI what that stone could have been. AI told me one day that it was the Roswell stone. Is what it looks like, the Roswell stone, but it was like a kind of like that. Kind of looked like a heart, like a real size heart, not like a lovely heart. And it was real size heart. But it was small. It was very small. Whatever. And so when they handed it to me, I seen that it had symbols on it. Now what's weird is sometimes when I imagine this, their faces are harder to remember, but I can after like really meditating and list like in my brain, I can like remember what the faces look like, and I can't for the life of me remember exactly what the symbols are. I want to say like stuff like when I see because I've been like obsessed with ancient technology, UFOs, UAPs, aliens, extraterrestrials, anything dimensional beings. So when they handed it to me, I remember it being in my hand. I remember feeling it in my palm, and I remember as soon as they handed it to me, the thought, feeling of it's all gonna be okay. I want to say it was a woman's voice, but I want to say it was like a lightly man's voice. I really don't remember the tone. I just remember it kind of sounded like my own voice, but a little like as I am now. It says it's all gonna be okay. Pretty much, this is in case of emergency, or when you need like kind of they didn't say it, but it was like the thought of if you need me, I'm here kind of feeling. Then they all three turned around and looked like they were sort of walking back away. And I remember being left with this stuff. I thought they were, because remember, I thought I was on a rooftop and I thought they were going to leave me. And I started getting really scared. So I started messing with the stone and then I blacked out. And I remember flashes of me being laying down and they're in my face, or not in my face, but like they're like, you know, around my my bubble here. And but what was weird is when they were around me in my bubble, I felt like they were mad, or I felt their feelings of they are not happy. They are not happy at all. And I don't like I felt like it was my fault, like what I did with the stone or whatever the freak that was, some sort of like command piece or something. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I just remember it very vividly, and I've never now back in 2011, 2012, I got real into it again, real into like extraterrestrials. Well, let's jump back. Let's jump back. Um, so when I was like 8, we moved from New Jersey to Indiana, and me and some friends of my friends of my mom's. Uh, so we're all a bunch of kids. One's older. One of her friends. We're in the backyard with the board playing light as a feather, stiff as a board, and they did it to me. I laid there, and then well, that's cool. Whatever, you guys lift me up, that's cool. And then we did it to them, and then I could see like on the screen here it has one little dot for the microphone, and I don't want to because I've already recorded one of these, and it was like bad quality. I was all over the place, and I couldn't talk coherently. Um, anyways, I it's the strangest stuff to think about. So right as soon as we got done playing light as a split feather stick as a board, everybody wanted to play slips or like hide and go seek at night in the neighborhood. If you guys don't understand, in my neighborhood it was called slips, and I remember we called it something else too, but doesn't matter. And when we when all I remember, and what's weird is I can remember everything in my life. I couldn't tell you what. Couldn't tell you what I ate 3 days ago. Well, I mean, I could, but like I can't remember my doctor's appointments or something stupid like that. Sometimes I can, sometimes I don't. It all depends on like situations. Like I gotta remember when my kids' birthdays are, stuff of that nature. And so my hair is long right now. I'm doing the whole yeah, the ADHD takes over sometimes. I'm just gonna put it back up. Hold on. Well, that didn't work. Oh well. Anyways, so hey, good enough. All right, so trying to make this like. All right. Anyways, back where I was at. So we were playing light as a feather, stiff as a board. And we started playing slips. Then my backyard. The backyard is open, and then there's a fence on one side, and a fence on the other. One side is my grandparents' house next to it, which we live next to my grandparents, which was very fun. So my grandparents owned two properties. All the kids seemed to book it around the fence towards my grandparents' house. And then I was left there standing. Look up. What did I see? I seen a UFO very close. The typical UFO, but it was a cloud. It was invisible. It was like you could see through it. It was gray. I seen the entities in the window looking at me. Now I say memory, whatever, but I'm not entirely sure what time it was. I know it was real, real late. I was raised in a bad house where now it's called free range parenting, but let's just leave it at that. And I seen the UFO, and it was moving right behind it. I shit you not, it was the exact same color, see-through kind of cloud. I want to say it was a cloud. It was a eagle flying behind it, like it was like a plane pulling a banner, but it was not that at all. Like I wouldn't be on here sharing this link with people on my Facebook, and I'm about to share it to my Instagram and X, and I wouldn't put myself out there for ridicule, scrutiny, or whatever because I want to start a business and do right. And so that was also when I was young. Now, around the same time, I had a dream one night. And in the dream, There was a. If you're ever from Elwood, Indiana, you ever been there? There's a few different wood places you could go. One was called the Trestle, and there's two different trestles in Elwood. I'm talking about the tin mill, which was an old canning factory that burnt down and had now there's just trees all over it, but there's tunnels there. And when I was younger, it was 2 blocks from my house, and I was allowed to go because pretty much there was a creek that surrounded my neighborhood, kind of curved around, and then trees forming. So I wasn't allowed to cross the tree area. I would go in the tree, I would go into the woods, and the woods were pretty good, about a mile of woods. Not really sure how many acres that is, but um, so I would go back in there, and there were tunnels where it was like a building and a basement and like maybe a sub basement, but it burnt down. So it was pretty much if you went to the right spot, you'd find like little tunnels or like stairs that went to a dirt mound, but people dug it out, and then it was like hallways, and so it was pretty dope. And for a preteen kid, 6, 7, 8, 9, I was all over that in the crib catching crawdads. So one night I had a dream, and in this dream, now I want to tell you that most of my life, most of my kid life, I didn't have any. I didn't have very much access to TV or because like we were poor, everybody's poor, and what I had to, I wanted like society would say, oh, well, you see that on TV and it's your imagination through adolescence creating nightmares or some sort of way to cope with your blah blah blah. So in the dream, there was a alien that was not a gray. It was a, I want to say a demon. Now, I have ADHD, so throughout this, I'm going to be jumping back and forth a lot. And I'm hoping that this stream actually records and it doesn't just stream and then go on there as an old stream. I want to be able to have it on my YouTube. Anyways, it so there's a road that goes in front of the tin mill, and it goes over a bridge, and then like the road that goes, there's another road that comes and meets it, so it's like a Y. And then in between the Y, there's an alley that goes down through the neighborhood that I lived in. It's pretty cool. You just have like a pear tree to have us go and eat off of. Anyways, in the dream, now in this dream, I was astro projecting, and for some reason, I was above my house. I could see my house, and I could see the neighborhood. Over, I was probably about 60 feet in the air. Okay, and I heard something calling me from the tin mill. So I swoop over to kind of fly over the tin mill, and I stop at the thing. I could hear it saying, "Come on, come, we're having a party. Come on, it's gonna be fun." And my instinct told me, "No, do not cross the grass off of the street." And it was starting to get frustrated when I'm telling it no, and it wouldn't let me see it at first, but then it finally came down to the street, and it would not cross the street, would not come onto the street. Like it wasn't allowed. I had to go cross into it. I said no, and I was like, and some I don't know, remember if I said why, or if I said something, but I said no, I'm not doing it. And it said, come on, and like I could hear it had a ship or something over there, low onto the tree line, and I could imagine party confetti and like happy song. Everybody's playing and doing whatever. And even that didn't entice me. Like it projected party onto me, like feeling and thoughts. Yeah, I assumed was telepathy. And I said no. And when I turned around and started walking, I heard this loud screech, and it was mad. It was hella mad. And I heard it from the top of the, cause like On the subway, you got to go up a little hill. Once you cross the street, go up into the trees. And it used to be a railroad track right there that would cross the bridge, and it was a bridge for the train that had since fallen in, and whatever. But you got to go up the hill, and then down the hill is all the tunnels and shit. It was pretty cool. It was like for a kid, it was like a dream because then you could go right there at the creek and whatever. Anyways, I uh, I remember going back to the house and going up, and I think that was it. I think I just kind of hung out there for a second, was just kind of chilling. But I was so young that none of this was like none of it was. But what was weird is I remember waking up and I had a bedwetting problem real bad for a long time around those age till I was about 10. Till I was about 10, I went to bed. Whatever. I had a lot of trauma in my life, a lot of trauma, and the cards that I was dealt wasn't really the best, and due to a lot of mental health concerns, my life was kind of, which I'm doing help here pretty soon. I got a couple appointments coming up, and thank God for my wife. She helps me so much. I can't really do it alone. A whiteboard ain't gonna help me. Sometimes I can write stuff down, but it's like I could have paper posted all throughout my. Anyways, doesn't matter. Anyways, so this is just about abductee stuff. Back to focus. I'll bring it back around. There's a lot of UFOs. We don't know what to do. We don't know where they're at. There's a lot of abductees, a lot of missing kids. We don't understand why. They're the best. They're the best UFOs. We got the best UFOs. We're the best. Yeah, we talked to our pilots. They didn't. Something strange. Um, then there was another experience where during my adolescence, I was started collecting all the kitchen knives. I started hoarding them in my room, preparing. And at one point, I remember like playing with Legos or something, just doing kid stuff, like watching because we had to go live at my grandparents' house for a while, which happened to be right next to her, anyways. And so they had cable, so I could watch Cartoon Network, which is that uh, they didn't have Adult Swim yet, but they had Toonami, which was like, you know, yeah, it had Toonami. And so I'm sitting here playing one day. I remember feeling like I had lost abilities. I had, I remember feeling like I can't explain it really. I had lost the ability. I could tell myself that I felt like something was missing in me. I felt like part of me was stunted or not the same anymore. What they did to me, I don't know. I don't know if it was good or bad. Nothing crazy happened to the Greys. I don't know if I don't know if they did something to me. My current theory as of today, I think that we are not ready to have the abilities that we're supposed to have, or at least some of us aren't. I feel like I'm ready. Like me as a person, I want to help people. I want people to learn what I've known and what I've learned. I want people to see life the way I see life. I want people to prosper, and I like to see people happy. Even if I do get jealous of people, I tell myself that that's a wrong feeling to have. I feel sad when I see pain, and life is just weird. And I'm sitting here talking to zero people. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully this recorded and I can just go back and post it again. It's sad to think about. Sad to think that maybe something is different about me and some entity took something or stunted me, like how we lobotomize people in early times. Humans have done a lot of sick stuff, and I don't think I'm like that. So I don't know why they would take something from me. I I see that, maybe we're evolving or whatever. Maybe we're not. Maybe we're just like I don't know. Whoops. Am I going still? Hello? Okay. Close out. Close out. Maybe we're still evolving. I feel the dimension shift. I feel I feel when so I've done some hard time. Not super hard, but I've done a decade. Uh, 3/4 of it was inside, and the rest was installment programs. I wouldn't call it. I I know when the atmosphere changes in the room, but I've felt that a few different times around, like the whole like hard strong. In 2011, I got really into researching extraterrestrials and the cult, witchcraft, everything. It's downloading, downloading videos. I was doing all kinds of crazy stuff on my laptop, looking it up. Got to the point where everybody that came to my house, which I had a lot of friends coming and going at the time, and everybody I would make them sit down, watch these videos, watch what looked like entities on ground. And back in that time, there was no AI, and you knew CGI was CGI. Some of these videos, I wish I had to this day, were good, were very good videos. Whether they were real or not, I don't know, but it was enough to where it raised your skin up, raised a hair on your skin. And it wasn't just YouTube videos, and I was deep in the forums, back rooms before they were the back rooms, of the internet, looking, scouring. I looked at mutilated corpses of humans and animals. I think I seen some pictures that I wasn't supposed to see, where there were only so many people that had seen them. Anyways, all of a sudden Mormons started showing up to the house, and I don't know if whatever, but I invited them in. I was so obsessed. I think I chilled out a little bit more, but chilled out on telling so many people these. But the Mormons came in. I let them come in, and I forced them. 'Cause Mormons are they're pretty into what you got to say, as long as you listen to them for a second. And I made them watch the videos. I told them about everything, and they were like shocked. Well, about 2 weeks after because they started showing up every few days, they would show up, and I would sit there with them, and I would just go off, and I was, and they're pretty understanding. They would let you do drugs. They would let you do anything. Don't offer to them. And I was, well, they, I don't know if I just gave up on life at that point, anyways, because I was pretty convinced that 2012, December 21st, I think it was supposed to be, world was gonna end. I'm pretty sure that the dimension shifted. Anyways, so I had another nightmare. This nightmare was different. Um, the girl I was with at the time, here's the layout of the dream. Um, Bedroom that had a little love seat in front of the bed, and then there was my TV because it was a 1 bedroom apartment, so I had kids in the other room. in the living room, but that was their bedroom. Anyway, so I'm laying in bed, and here's the bedroom. So laying in bed, here's the bedroom. Well, maybe here's the door, here's the TV, and then the bed was in the center of the room, and the couch was in front. And there's a little coffee table in front. So I'm laying in bed, and I wake up, and it was one after the other coming into the room. Black shrouds. They weren't people. They were shrouded in black. Couldn't see their face. And I cut. I wake up again. I can't move. Sleep paralysis. I'm laying there. I go to nudge her. Can't move. Go to scream. Can't move. Or maybe I screamed, but nothing came out. And I managed to look over to my left. There was a black entity in the room, but it was the same shrouded thing, but there was only one in here. There was one right next to me, and I freaked out. Cut to, there's nothing in the room. Nothing in the room, but I still can't move. And I'm like, okay, so this is a dream within a dream. That's weird. And I go to move and I can't. Still, I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, what the F? Anyways, so I went to nudge her. Nobody's there next to me. I'm like, oh, that's weird. Cut. I wake up, it's in the morning. I'm like, oh, thank God, it's morning. So I get up, I go out, and I look down the hall. Nobody's here. I call for my kids, no respond. I go out, I'm like, oh, that's weird. I'm going out of the window, and I look at the window, and I could see in the sky was had a red hue to it, like War of the Worlds. And in the sky there was a disc coming through the clouds, and there was stuff coming out of the disc, kind of like claws or like long, like tentacle type things. Which, now that I think about it, like the jellyfish UFO, but huge. And then I seen ships coming out of it, like Independence Day. Like it was like Independence Day for sure. Then I start freaking out, and then I wake up again, and I'm back, and I'm thinking, whoa, like that was pretty crazy. That was the sign to lay off and stop talking to Mormons, because I'm pretty sure the Mormons are connected to the Freemasons, man, and the Freemasons are connected to the Illuminati, but the Illuminati don't run the world. It's the lizard people, man. The lizard people are running the world. I don't know. I don't know if lizard people um, were the ones that. Ooh, lizard people are the ones that made me have that nightmare. I don't know if it was lizard people that were calling me to the tin mill that night. I don't know if lizard people are controlling the graves. I don't know if the graves are controlling themselves. And there, a while back, there was a show. There was a show called Dark Skies. Or was it Dark Skies? No, it was called. Hold on. What was that show called? I'm pretty sure it was called Dark Skies. No, no, no. Dark Skies was the movie. Hold on. What was that show? Apocalyptic, post-apocalyptic, alien invasion TV show. I think it was on TNT. I want to say Falling Skies. That's what it was called, Falling Skies. Anyways, so Falling Skies theory was, which was weird. They only had so many seasons, which was a freaking amazing show. I don't know why they stopped it. Same thing with V, or yeah, V. I think it was one. Another amazing show. Um, so Dark Skies, there was the smaller entities. They like the taller they got, were different versions, and like the super tall ones were the ones who are sentient, and they had, I think maybe they had souls. Maybe that. Now I've looked at a lot of information, and I think my conclusion is that we have a leech on our consciousness, on humanity's consciousness, some sort of leech of some kind, some sort of maybe bottom feeder, or maybe some sort of something of the universe has come and infiltrated all humanity. And whether or not that's true or not is pure speculation. But at this point, I'm open to any ideas. If I can get anybody in this chat here, that'd be great. All right, chat, what do you think? Tell me all about it. Crickets. Awesome. Cool. Well, we'll try this again another day. That was about 38 minutes. Call it, call it 40 minutes. There's a couple other couple other dreams that I can bring out. A couple other times where I'm pretty sure that, and let's just say sneak peek, the deja vu that I have is crazy. You guys won't even understand. It's just my life is so complicated and it's hard to want to try. I've looked at Chat GPT trying to find ways to contact Arrow or projects. What is it? Immaculate Constellation. Different ways to tell them about my story. Tell them that they gave me a stone. I don't have it. Best believe if I had it, I'd be doing what the Boogosphere is doing right now. Those people, Jaime Masu or whatever, I'd be doing what they're doing. But last age 23, I find out. So I'm 34. 34. How do you think I look for 34? Still look funky. I'm not the best. I got big ears for some reason. Anyways, my wife, I think she's so we'll have a whole entirely different love soulmate